Can we talk about the F word? No, it's not the four-letter one that you're all thinking of, right? Food? No, we're talking about feedback. It is this word that makes people shiver, that makes their tummies flip upside down and makes us dread having these conversations. What is it about feedback that makes us so anxious? Well, I was diving into our vault of workshops and, we've got a lot of it. And I came across this one slide that I honestly had forgotten that we had about the feedback fallacy. And I posted this on LinkedIn. So if you're interested in seeing this slide, it is up on my LinkedIn account. And the whole thing about the feedback fallacy is that we look at feedback as either positive or negative. And the reality is when we do that, it's not good because it's binary. And it also creates a really unhealthy dynamic between the leader and the recipient of the feedback. So let's look at the dynamics. And then let's look at alternatives that can flip the script and get us back on track in our overall intended outcomes around feedback. So when we look at negative feedback, it's when people tell us the things that we need to do differently. And I can't tell you how many different leaders I've talked to. They're like, I'm really good at feedback. I address things when they happen. I tell people what they can do better. So I want to just put you back in those shoes when you were first getting started in a job or when you were learning something new and someone came to you with constructive criticism. And I'm using air quotes on that because really what it is just criticism. It's highlighting what you didn't do well, what went wrong, and probably what you can do better in the future. The problem with that is it immediately puts the other person in a defensive, self-protective stance. It's no longer what you did wasn't right. It's I'm not right. I'm wrong. There's something wrong with me. And so whatever opportunity we thought we had of creating teachable moments, we're probably getting a fraction of compliance or agreement. Oh yes, I'll do better next time. Under the surface, that person is shivering like nobody's business. Oh no, I'm going to get fired. Oh no, they're going to stop respecting me. Oh no, they're not going to trust me. Oh no, I'm going to get demoted. Consequence, consequence, consequence. Because there have probably been points in the past where that has been what has happened. Or maybe they were in a family or in a learning situation where they were criticized and made to feel small and less than. That's not our intention in giving that feedback, right? No, probably not. We just want to see things corrected. And so we're moving on our merry way, not knowing the damage that we've created by bringing this up to the person. On the flip side, if we're providing positive feedback, that becomes the carrot. It becomes this expectation or this striving for getting that external validation. My boss thinks I'm good enough. My boss thinks I'm great. I need to get more of that serotonin and endorphin hit. Give me more, give me more, give me more, like a Pac-Man. And then what ends up happening is when they don't get it, when there is a void of that external validation, the gap, the void becomes this anxiety-ridden fill-up of, well, if they didn't tell me I was good enough, am I really good enough? What do they really think of me? What's going on? And they start becoming burdened with worry. In fact, I just talked to a client about this because they didn't get the conversation. Their mind went rampant with all the things that could be going wrong. And in reality, because they weren't a squeaky wheel, they weren't a top line priority. So we have to be very clear in our intention of giving the feedback. So if there is a correction needing to be made, it needs to be a two-way street. It needs to be a conversation of, hey, I noticed this. Can we have a conversation about it? What did you notice? What would you have done differently? What do you need? Questions, not accusations, not speculation. And when it comes to giving people positive praise, we want to learn more about their process. So you did a really great job on that presentation. Like, what do you think contributed to that success? Walk me through your process. Because what we want to do is getting people internally validating themselves, building that inner confidence in their process, in their learning, in their understanding, in their ability to be flexible and to go into those unknown, uncertain spaces. That's what we're trying to co-create. It is not about us being on the pedestal, us being on top of the hill saying, You pass, you fail. It only sets people up for feeling insecure. And in the past, that's what companies wanted. That's what leaders wanted. They wanted compliance. They wanted that you need me in order to feel okay. That's paternalism. And that is ripe for exploitation too. So if we're trying to evolve our leadership strategies, if we're trying to up-level our cultures and ownership of projects and agency, we need to co-create that feedback loop. Tell me what you need. Tell me what you know. Tell me how I can help you. And I'm going to be that outside external lens telling you what I notice, what I recognize. I'm seeing a pattern of things. Tell me how this is working for you or not working for you. Because typically when feedback comes up, it means we're misaligned in our expectations. And when we have unmet expectations, that's when relationships break down. So at the core of this, we have to build trust. We have to build bridges of understanding in what the thought process related to the outcome and the completion of tasks. And if things aren't happening in the way that we're both expecting, nobody's happy. So we have to come together so that we can understand, what do people need to feel successful, and what do I need to see, observe, know in order to feel confident in their abilities. We need to get both of our needs met. So be clear as a leader, my needs are this. Here's how you build trust with me. Here's how you gain more agency. And the person on the other end can say, here's what I need to be most successful. Here's how I do my best work. Imagine having conversations like that in the workplace and how things could be different. So I want you to think back on when you have given feedback. Were you coming from a negative or positive angle? Even under constructive criticism, what was it really? And how can you shape your questions and the energy that you're showing up with to get a better outcome? Think about the way forward. Think about the ideal outcome and then see what's possible. See how the person starts to up-level their energy. See what comes out of their mouth next. You will be surprised that when you change your approach to feedback, your outcomes and your relationships with your team members will dramatically and drastically improve. So I hope this was helpful. Y'all keep being awesome, and we'll catch you next time.